Hello everyone. Sorry, still no whiteboard, but I have this, I guess. And today I will be going through my top 10 favorite kaiju films of all time. I forewarn you, this list is mostly Godzilla. You know, that just happens to be the movies that I like. No disrespect to Gamera or any of the others, but here we go. At number 10, I have Godzilla Final Wars. This movie's big, it's fun, it's loud, it's got it all. If there were ever a Godzilla movie that was just taking all your kaiju Godzilla toys out of the toy chest and throwing them into the movie, that is this. I actually got to see it on DVD when it came out, rented it from Blockbuster. I would have liked to see it in theaters, but I did not. It's only at number 10 because it's not a great story. It's even silly for a Godzilla movie, but it's good enough to be number 10. At number 9, I have Godzilla vs. Kong. This was great. The titular fight may be, I think, the best looking kaiju fight of all time. But the movie is only at number 9 because the human characters are a bit insufferable. This franchise, it weaved and went different places, but overall, I almost found it carried too much from lesser movies like Godzilla King of the Monsters and Kong Skull Island, but it's great enough to be at number 9. At number 8, Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla and Godzilla Tokyo SOS. I'm putting these as basically one movie. They are essentially a two-parter. If someone's new to Godzilla, I'd really recommend watching these two movies. I was fortunate enough to see Against Mechagodzilla on DVD as well from Blockbuster when I was a kid. Blockbuster did not have a big selection of Godzilla and kaiju movies, but this one I got to see. I love that it goes back to the original idea of humans versus Godzilla. They have to design a way to destroy Godzilla, and they design their own Mechagodzilla. The fights are good. Spoiler alert, Godzilla loses an arm. And I think it's a simple and great kaiju film. And in the sequel, Tokyo SOS, things are just knocked up another notch. Next up is King Kong, the original. This is the only non-Godzilla movie on this list. And this is, I think, honestly, one of the few perfect films, or like perfect action monster kind of films from the golden age of Hollywood. And it tells the King Kong story. It does not inflate it like the Peter Jackson movies. It's not the 70s movie, whatever the fuck that is. It keeps it simple. It really, in some ways, invented the kaiju genre. It is one of the big inspirations of the Godzilla movies. And if you guys have not watched the original King Kong, do yourself a service. Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. This was the conclusion of the Heisei series. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But yeah, this one is great. Godzilla has a son, and he's not ugly like his other son. And it was a great film. It was a great ending for the time to the character. And probably some of the best visual effects I think we've ever seen in Godzilla. It still has a suitimation, it still has the model buildings, and it just does it perfectly. And this, I don't even know why it's not higher on this list. I did not see this one when I was a kid, so there's no nostalgia really for me, but it is, if you talk about what makes a great kaiju film, it has an interesting story, it has great fights, it has great characters, great directing, great music, well, the same music as the other Godzilla movies. It even pays homage to the original with having the actress come back. It's not silly like some of the other Godzilla movies of this era. Which one? Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. That's where they had the special police and they were going back in time and stuff. That was a bit out there. So this one was just good kaiju entertainment. Next up, Godzilla vs. Mothra, the original. Of the Showa series, I think this actually may be the best film. It is logically structured, it has great visuals, great fights, a good story, honestly. This is what brought the Mothra story and the ideas into the Godzilla universe, and it's done very well. If I were to introduce somebody to the Showa series, I'd probably show them this one first. Godzilla 2014, yes, you can at me. I think this was amazing. This was an actual American retelling of the Godzilla story. Unfortunately, when it came out, I remember Western audiences thought it was too slow and like boring and stuff, but it's structured like a Showa-era Godzilla movie. You have a human story, you have Godzilla, he does stuff throughout the movie, and then it ends with a big monster showdown. They don't they don't fucking do monster fights for 2 hours like Godzilla, the new Godzilla King of the Monsters. Everything's not blue like that movie, and it's just visually great. Like the parachute sequence is shown from the human's perspective, and it's a great sequence. That'd be a great sequence in any movie. And I think this was the best movie to represent Godzilla's size. You see this huge creature, and you get it. Next up is Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. I understand this may not be as good a film as something like Godzilla vs. Mothra, but this was the one I had on VHS as a kid, the first one. This is the one I found at a yard sale. Up until that point, I had only seen the Godzilla 1998, which I loved as a kid, but as I got older. And yeah, this is what introduced me to the kaiju genre, really. And I love this movie. It's fun, it's silly. It has a good subplot with the aliens. I thought it was cool. You have the fights. You have him fighting his arch nemesis, King Ghidorah. And Godzilla doing his dance will always live on in my heart. Number 2. This will probably be a controversial take. Shin Godzilla. I think this movie is amazing. It is the best of any of the Godzilla movies to recapture the spirit and the ideas of the original Godzilla film, because it goes back to using an allegory. It's not the same allegory, it's not the atomic bomb allegory from the original Godzilla, but this one they used the tsunami and the nuclear reactor meltdown in Fukushima. And you see how the different levels of Japan's government respond to this. You have a great hero. You watch humans try to outthink Godzilla. They don't just shoot him down with fucking fighter jets or whatever the fuck happened in the 98 Godzilla. In this one, they have to design a way like the Oxygen Destroyer from the original. They try different things. They try dropping buildings on him. And yeah, this movie goes a bit off the wall. Godzilla has unexpected powers that he doesn't have in the other movies because they are reinventing it. They're going back to the original. They are doing things that you wouldn't expect. Whereas a lot of the Godzilla sequels, I think, fall into the cover band syndrome trap, in that Godzilla never does anything new because they don't want to change anything. But this one does it, and it does it great. And no, I don't think this movie is boring either. Honorable mention to Godzilla 2000, also a great movie. It just didn't make this list. And also the Godzilla PS4 game. I really like that game. I know a lot of people don't. And I think the poor sales are why they won't make another one. And number 1, actually I have another non-Godzilla movie on this list. The best kaiju movie of all time is, of course, Rex. You know, he's a bit smaller than other kaiju, but he's dangerous. He bites that one guy. No, I'm joking. The best, or my favorite kaiju movie is the original Godzilla. This movie is perfect. For the longest time, I had only seen the King of the Monsters cut, which is crap. Well, not crap, but, you know, get that fucking Raymond Burr shit out of here. I think the original Godzilla is beautifully shot. It's scary as it needs to be. It is a brilliant allegory for the atomic bomb. It just shows an unstoppable force of nature, you know, giving humanity its just desserts. Ishiro Honda's great director. I think this was his best film. He showed up for a lot of the later Godzilla movies, never necessarily recaptured the original. The score by Akira Ifukube is amazing. It stuck around in almost every Godzilla movie after this. It's still some of my favorite film music of all time. If you are a kaiju fan, you have to watch it. You have to see where it all started. This started Suitamation. This is, I think, one of the greatest Japanese films of all time, one of the greatest movies ever, and so yeah, that is my number 1, and this was my top 10. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead, tell me your top 10 in the comments below, and tell me why I'm dumb or whatever. And yeah, please rate, comment, subscribe if you see fit. See ya.